All right. Aloha Friday, everybody. A little flavor there, island flavor for you. Hey, tonight I got Chip Baker with me, and I'm so happy. I should be, with my brother out there promoting that book, and we're going to be talking about that book here in a little while. But Chip, thanks for being with me, brother. I really appreciate what you do and what you bring to my life.
Thank you so much for having me. Same sentiments to you as well. I think what you do is amazing, and I'm truly grateful to always be able to connect with you. And it's always a good time.
Outstanding. Hey, if you don't know Chip, for everybody that's out there, and if you're joining us, I see there's already handful of people coming on. Thank you for being with us tonight. Let us know where you're tuning in from, your name, and just in case I don't get to see it, because sometimes the settings that we have don't allow me to see the name. But hey, give a shout. Tell me where you from and who you are, and we'd love to have you involved in the show. But if you don't know about Chip Baker, you're missing out, right? He's got this go get it. Uh, Look, yeah, there it goes, right on his shirt, right? Go get it. And once you hear Chip say "go get it" once, that doesn't erase from your head, and only Chip can say "go get it" the way he does. But we're gonna be talking about leadership stuff, which and a little bit about his book here in a little bit, especially the area of influence, the
Mhm.
area of success, right? That's everybody's looking for success,
Yes, sir.
and sometimes in all the right places, and sometimes in all the wrong places, right?
Hmm.
So, but Chip, man, tell us a little bit about you, man, what you're doing,
Yeah,
and have the audience get a little familiar with you.
yeah. So myself, Chip Baker. I'm a fourth generation educator, teacher, and former coach. I just finished my 22nd year in education. It's been a blessing. Truly grateful for that. I've been blessed and fortunate to be raised by some great people as well as be around some awesome folks to learn from in my career. And I started the Success Chronicles about almost 5 years ago. And it's a YouTube channel and podcast where I interview people from all walks of life and just share their stories for positive inspiration and motivation. And that journey has truly been a blessing. It's truly far surpassed anything I ever thought it would be. And it's allowed me to be able to connect with some great people like yourself, establish some amazing relationships, and then, do some things that uh, were on my bucket list that are continuing to blow me away. And like you said, the book is one of those things. And so it's my fifth book. I've put out a sixth book already since then. And so just truly grateful for every opportunity, grateful for the relationships, and truly looking forward to learning and growing more.
Well, hey, I appreciate what you do. I know, and I follow a lot of your stuff. You're very involved with the youth.
Mm,
I'm one of those that will tell you, uh, and they ask me, hey, what kind of level? Where do you want to impact leaders? I say right out the gate. You know,
yeah.
if I could get them before they hit that gate, that'd be great. Because after they're far gone, how can you reel them in, right?
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
talking to youth about leadership, talking to youth about motivational stuff, things that will inspire them, and you're influencing them at the right time in life, which is
Hmm.
what I love about what you're doing. You're hitting them right before major things happen, and unfortunately, we all been young, and
Yeah.
we know that some things happen in our youth that surely impacted us later on, both good and bad. But you have them right where they need to be taught and be inspired and be motivated. So thank you for that. Um, you talk about leadership, and I know your book has a lot of leaders comprised all in one book, and then especially the one that I'm talking about, influence, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Influence and leadership is one of the that's it, right? And John Maxwell says, that's what leadership is influence, right? That's what it is. Nothing
Yeah,
more, nothing less, right?
that's it. What's crazy is in in life, we all have um, someone or something, some experience that has influenced us in our lives, and it's influenced us in such a way that it's caused a major impact,
Mhm.
right? And it's allowed us to be, or jump started us into the journey to be who we are today, and we can all, trace that back, right? And so that's what the book is about, the impact of influence. That's what leadership is about, the impact of influence. I think, whether we, apply for the job as a leader or not, we are that by our actions, because we can be that. We are around so many people that we don't even realize that see the things that we do on a day-to-day basis, right? So it's
Yeah,
important to make sure that we're on point with our actions.
and it's funny that you would mention the impact, right? The impact is where you see the fruit of that influence, right? Because
Yeah.
you can
Yes, sir.
influence people, but if they never act on your influence, was it really influence or was it just
Mhm.
information, right? So it's influence when you can actually change the way someone thinks and acts, both,
Mhm.
right? And that's it's the action that tells you that what you shared with them truly impacted them to a point where now they are making some particular moves that maybe they wouldn't have had they not spoken to you, had they not
Yeah.
heard you. And so how you deal with youth, I mentioned that earlier. How are you seeing that group of youngsters that you talk to? How are you seeing your impact on their life? How is it showing up?
How am I seeing my impact on their life? Um, I really won't be able to judge that until decades, and so all I know is, I'm taking the proper action every day to give it to them. Right. I'm, I'm like, I don't just say go get it. Like I
Right,
live, go get it. Right.
right,
And
right.
so I'm doing everything. I've been blessed, like I said, to have some great people in my life throughout my life that I can
Mhm,
watch and learn from by their actions. And then I can take a little bit of this from this person and sprinkle of that and, pinch of this and then
mhm.
put it together and make it my thing. And so I'm just striving really hard to do my part in this positive ripple effect um, of influence, of leadership, of all things positive, of doing things the right way, in hopes that the big man will be happy with my little part that I've strived to do.
Well, you bring up a perfect point for leaders that are out there listening, right? And you think that uh, your acts are going to and it sometimes it happens, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens. You see an immediate
Oh yeah.
response and an immediate payback, right? Payoff,
Hmm.
but more than likely you won't see it for decades, right?
Yeah.
You won't see it. This is a seed sowing type of environment.
It's a
Leadership,
process.
it's a process, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
goes through stages, but you as the seed bearer have to know the quality of seed you're putting down. And that's where you get your pay. You know what you're putting down. Now, whether that ground was fertile enough or had the right property, that's something else.
Yeah.
But you know the type of seed you're putting down. So for leaders out there that are questioning how much impact they're truly having, you may never see it,
Hmm.
but you as a leader must know the quality that you're putting down. Because if it's poor quality, guess what? You're bound to see poor results, right?
Exactly.
I was chatting with Ron Mahalter, right? He's out of Australia, wealth management guy. He had put. I said, hey, poor mindsets will always produce poor results.
Mm.
That's and so at the same in the same light of leadership, if you know the type of seed you're putting down and the information you're putting out, you're bound to see it sooner or later. But even if you don't, you have to you have to bank on the fact that I put good stuff down.
You know, when as I hear you describe that, the word intentions comes up for me. I think if you're doing things with the pure heart,
Mhm.
with pure intentions, I think you can't go wrong with that. You know, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. But if it's from a pure, good-hearted place, then I think at the end of the day, whatever you're putting out, it's going to bear some really good fruit because the intentions are in a pure-hearted place. And so I think that's what I've strived to do. That's what I've seen. That's what I know. You know, like in my family, church folk and educators. And so
Mhm.
all I know is a life of giving service. That's all I've seen. You know, I've seen the amazing people around me just give of themselves, even when they had nothing. When it appears like they may have nothing to give, they just continue to give and serve others. I think when you do that from a pure-hearted, pure intention place, pure greatness happens, right? And it's amazing how um, if you just take the one little step to give, just one,
Mhm.
just one little step to give, how the big man will see fit to make sure that all of that multiplies, coming back to you, and not that you're doing it to receive anything.
Right, right.
When it's pure, you don't do it to like I'm selfish gain. It's about me. No, it's not like that. It's about what can I do to be a blessing? What can I do to help in the situation? Be the glue, hold some things together.
Mhm.
Uh, and when you take that mindset and mentality about your actions, evidence and the research to show that great things happen when you do that.
Oh yeah, you talking, and I'm reminded of a story, and it's a widow, right?
Hmm.
And you know where a rich man's given and a widow's given, and Jesus said, out of these two, who do you think gave most? Right?
Mm.
He said,
Yeah.
no, this one out of her poor, being poor, she gave all she had, and so
Mm.
as leaders, even if it's a small amount. That's why I go back to, you got to know what you're giving, right?
Mm.
When you're giving all you have, even if it seems small in the eyes of those that are watching,
Yeah.
you know what you're putting in. And then, and you get something like that. Hey, she gave more because he gave out of his abundance. She gave out of her poverty. And
Mm.
so it's a powerful thing as leaders, to consider those things, even when it's small. It's not small if you know what you got. I want to take this time to say hi to all those that are joining us. Please shout out, put a comment in there, where you're coming, where you're joining us from, your name, or just say hey, aloha, right? I appreciate that. So Chip, now we're you got the Success Chronicles. Tell me a little bit about how that all came about, because I was a guest on it,
Yes.
and I believe that's how we actually got together the
Hmm.
very first time. So tell me a little bit about the whole thought around the Success Chronicles, because I've been watching you get some heavy hitters up in there.
Yeah, it started with you. you know, uh, no, for me with the Success Chronicles, like I said, it's a YouTube channel and podcast where I interview people from all walks of life and just share their stories for positive inspiration and motivation. And when I started doing it, I just wanted to, like, I realized that, like, man, I had great conversations with the people that I was around all the time. It just helped me. They poured into me. They encouraged me. By hearing their stories, I was able to learn so many things that I can use in my life to help others. And so I didn't want to be, I couldn't be selfish with that because it was so good, right? So I just wanted to highlight them and share their stories. And that's where it started. Like, I just wanted to highlight those people. And little did I know it would grow at a crazy rate and truly far surpass anything I ever thought it would be. And, I put out, man, 250 episodes.
Look at that.
Working on lots more, interviewed some amazing people, you know, everyday people, everyday walks of life that are doing great things. People that I read their book, people that I movie star actors, entertainers. The list goes on and on of people that I've
Mhm.
interviewed, and I just think from the whole experience, it's really been neat. You know, as a kid, I mean, shoot, 10 years ago, if you were to tell me I'd be doing this, I wouldn't believe you, you know. And so it blows me away every day, the people that I get to talk to, learn from, and grow with. And it excites me because I know that it gives me opportunities to learn, grow, help others, and connect others. And that's what it's been for me.
Yeah, it's been said, and I might be the one saying it, but you don't know how good the get is till you give. You don't know.
Ooh, come on.
And I might have just said that.
Come on.
you know, because it's true. Until you give and then get back, you're like, wow, I did not understand
Yeah.
getting until I actually gave and gave wholeheartedly, right? You mentioned pure heart earlier.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you do it that way, the get just gets better. you
Oh
know,
man.
eh, eh,
And for me, I like to break that down a little bit. You know, um, with cell phone service, now they're introducing 5G, but really, like, 4G was really good for me. But I
yeah,
have
yeah.
I have 4Gs of giving. I think when you give, you have to give more than is expected of you.
Mm,
When you strive to do that, give more than, like, you may sign a contract or whatever, or shake a hand and say you're gonna do something, but give more than that,
mm,
right? Don't just give average. Then the second, for me, I think you have to give grace and forgiveness.
mm.
Again, like I
Oh,
said, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. We're all gonna continue to make mistakes because we're not
yeah.
perfect. But in order to receive grace and forgiveness, you got to give grace
Mm,
and forgiveness, right?
that's
And
right.
then I've talked about the third one. Give with a pure servant's heart. Strive to serve others, and that's what the Success Chronicles has been for me.
Right.
And then last, just give all you got every day. Just for me, effort counts. Maximum efforts equal maximum results. And if you just give what you got today, then that little that you have to give today will make a huge difference in the life of someone tomorrow.
Yeah, it reminds me of a Bible verse that says everybody's been given a measure of faith. I say the measure of faith, but there's always a measure, right?
Mm,
Not everybody's got 100% all the time.
yeah.
And leaders don't live this delusional life that you got to have it all at all
Mm,
times. It's impossible, right? That's
yes.
unrealistic. But whatever you do have, give the full measure of that, right? And then you won't be able to say, "Man, I didn't give my all," and your all may not be much compared to your neighbor,
Yeah.
but it's your all, right? And that's
You're
what's
on.
important.
That's
And
right.
Ricky is joining us from Southern California. Thank you, Ricky. She's been such a great support on these lives on Friday. And she said, "Give today like tomorrow doesn't exist."
Love it.
Look,
Love it.
look, it because in reality it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's just a hope. Tomorrow is a hope,
Yeah, we may not be here tomorrow,
right?
Ricky. Let's get it. Let's get it
Yeah, get
today.
it.
Yeah,
Go get it today.
go
Go give
get
it
it
today.
right now.
But
We ain't waiting for it.
that's right. That's right. So the Success Chronicles has been such a success in itself, right?
Thank you.
Has led you to this book thing. But the impact of influence is a compilation, and Lord willing, I'll be in that thing. Now we had an opportunity. I'm gonna get on that sooner or later. I'm gonna get on that. But Tell us a little bit about the impact, because it was a compilation
Right.
of folks. So how did you get through that?
So, like I said, through the Success Chronicles, I've connected with some great
Hmm.
people. And there was a guy that I connected with that does book publishing. And he reached out to me and he was like, you're connected with some pretty cool people. He follows me, watches my stuff.
Hmm.
It's like, you ever thought about bringing some of those people together and making a book, like a compilation book? And I was like,
Mm.
that is a good idea.
Hmm.
Let's do that.
Yep. Yep.
And so, real excited about it that day. We created the cover. Within a week and a half, I had the 17 authors. Everybody was in. They were like, yes,
Hmm.
let's do it. Some of them didn't even let me finish the spiel to explain it to them. Like, yeah, man, come on, let's go get it.
Right.
And then, 3 months later, yeah, 3 months later, we dropped it. The ebook, Amazon, it was a number one in 11 categories, bestseller. It's been amazing. Then we started the book tour and actually just finished yesterday the last stop on a 10-stop book tour for the impact of influence. And this has all happened since January,
Hmm.
right? And so it's been one amazing journey. And you talk about the impact of influence. I'll tell you this story just yesterday. This just happened yesterday. So we're at the book tour in San Antonio, and there's a lady that's there. She had purchased the book, and one of the authors, her daughter read the book. So her daughter was video like, this is my face. She loved it, loved the story in there. And so she has a video of her daughter reading the book.
Wow.
Like the chapter in the book, man, blew me away. Like, I mean, just and so it's just a cycle, when you like we talked about, when the get, when you
Yeah.
give in a big way, the get is huge too.
Yeah.
And that's
Hmm.
what it's been.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, and I definitely am online. I'm in the line. I mean, I got my lawn chair. I'm in there because I really want uh, uh, to participate in any way I can in that endeavor. But folks, hey, if you're out there, you're listening. I see a couple of people on several platforms on here that are watching. Please let us know where you're watching from. Hey, you got leadership questions? Throw them in there. You
Let's
got
get it.
two guys that do leadership all the time. So
Yes.
if you got questions, throw them in there. We'll entertain those. Um, so what's on the horizon here? What's coming up? For Chip Baker.
Well, like I said, just finished the book tour yesterday. So first is some rest, rest and recovery.
R and R,
That's
but
that's gonna that's gonna be first. But after that, no, just kind of get some rest and recovery, reflect on some things of this journey, what it's
yeah.
been, going into, gonna putting out more books and speaking lots,
Mm.
leadership things. So, if there's an organization or group that's looking for a speaker, I would love to have the opportunity to do that. Love speaking to groups, love training. I'm a John Gordon Power of Positive Leadership trainer.
Mm.
So I do all things positivity, all things teaching life lessons. I like to tell people that my blood type is B positive.
I love it. I love
Right. Uh,
it.
and so, I believe in that. I live
That's
that. I
funny because
love that.
mine's is O negative.
Yeah. Hey, that's what I was going to say. I like to stay away from those people with the blood type of O negative. Right.
Too funny. Too funny.
But yeah, just always to learn and grow. It's been awesome. Like you said, there's 17 authors in the Impact of Influence book. And what's great is um, everybody is involved in some amazing things, just powerful men doing
Right.
great things. And so, we're all connecting on projects. doing some things together. So, just pushing myself to grow.
Yeah, look, and I just noticed Steve Worthy came on, and he's saying I'm digging the shirt. Aloha, brother. And Steve, we got a chat. So DM me, man. We got to chat. But so good to see him on there. So good to see Ricky and all the others. I see him on multiple channels. Don't be shy. Let us know where you're coming from, where you're watching.
Yeah,
We would
yeah.
love to entertain questions or anything, but so let's talk a little bit, a Chip, about success, because
Mm,
there's a hunger for success, but there's a fallacy behind what success really is,
yeah.
and you can attain a lot in life and still be unsuccessful,
Mm,
right? So success is not measured by what you attain.
yeah.
In my definition, success is gauged on your impact, right? On your impact, right? So let's unravel that for a little bit.
Success is gauged on your impact. I think, first off, I agree. I think, and this is a quote that I start my chapter in the book, and I'll share this with you. The impact we make on others can be felt for generations. It creates an everlasting ripple effect that influences many. And, when you look at success, success can be, has been,
Mm,
will be defined as many different ways, right? And then, so I mean, you can take, for example, like you can look at one person, like for myself, for example, success to me now is not the same definition as what success to me was, 5 years ago or 10
right,
years or yesterday. You know, it's an ever changing, ever evolving thing. And I think, there's a magic word that I've said several times during this interview is growth, right? I think
right.
success lies within your ability to have continued growth in your life. And so, whatever um, is important to you, what I'm saying, whatever your priorities are, if you feel that you have growth in those priorities, then you're successful, right?
Yeah, and thanks, Steve. He just came on there and agreed and loved both quotes. Appreciate your support, brother.
Yes, that's awesome.
Um, you know, and as I was saying, success is gauged by your impact. Um, it's kind of tricky though, because you could be successful at doing wrong.
Oh, without a doubt. We
I
can-
mean,
yeah.
it really is based on what you are intending to do, right?
Mhm.
Depending on, and in this world of today, I've never seen where wrong is so right. I've not,
Right?
bro, in all of my life, and Sunday would be 50 years this Sunday.
Yeah.
In all of my life, I've never seen where wrong is so right. I
Amen.
I I just can't explain it, brother.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with
But
you.
but even in those wrong being right, they're successful.
Yeah.
They are hitting what they intended to do.
Yeah.
And it's blowing my mind. And so now more than ever, for those of you listening, now more than ever, you have to be sure that you're on the right side. But how can you if you don't even know who's who? You don't know who's saying what. you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you got pro vaccine, you got anti vaccine, you got pro this, and you got anti that.
Yeah.
So, thankfully for you and I, we have this thing called the Holy Spirit.
Come
they,
on.
they're going to put us on the right side. They're going
Come
to put
on.
on us on the right side. But when you don't, and you're just a leader, and you're just trying to make it on your own, right? No divine help whatsoever, because there are some, right? How how could you know you're on the right side? you have to have, and I'm going to tell you, you have to have some foundational
Come on.
truths. Truths. Now, it's got to go down deep. It's got to get it's got to go down to the root,
Hmm.
and the foundation, in order for you to understand that when you get to these decision making opportunities as a leader, that you actually are intending to do the best
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can, right? The best you can. So,
yeah.
but what you have to say about that? About that?
Well, I think there's some constants that we have to have, that are really our core common principles. You know what I'm saying? And then it guides those core common principles. It guides our moral compass. And then our moral compass allows us to set up structure and discipline in our life to allow us to continue that process. What are
Right.
your core common principles? Stay on that moral compass, have the discipline to stay on it. I think, the five things that are constants are your faith walk. You hit on that. You have to work hard at the things that you're doing. You have to do the right things,
Hmm.
right? You have to do things the right way. You have to treat people right, and I think you have to have gratitude. So for me, I think those are the five uh, core common things. And then, like I said, core common principles. It's like so. I'm picturing a like a process.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's just like a wheel, like spinning.
Yeah.
It's a continual thing that happens. Core common principles, moral compass, instill your discipline. And for me, I think your success is a direct correlation to your discipline, right? Your,
Hmm.
your success is a direct correlation to the discipline that you have. And then discipline now allows you the freedom to be happy, right? And so you just continue that process. It's a continued process to make sure that you're on the right path. I think when you do those things, you don't have to worry about, am I following the right people? Am I doing the right things? Because you're doing what's important to you, with some core common principles,
Hmm.
with the moral compass, and your discipline by which the way you're doing it.
I love how you picture that as a wheel, and folks, look, anybody know me? They know I'll be the first one to tell on myself. I Because I'm more interested in truth than concealment. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that as a leader. So they just because one of those areas may be faltering doesn't mean that it's all for naught, right?
Hmm.
You keep pressing because that wheel, I'm one that throughout my life, that moral compass, they might have thrown a magnet on things because I was all over the place,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It didn't
But
mean that I was garbage. It
but
just mean that area.
but the thing though is none of us are immune from growing through that process.
Hmm.
And that's a good thing because you learn uh, you know what you want in your life, and you learn more importantly what you don't want
Right.
in your life. And so that process, I didn't mean to cut you off
No,
there, but
no.
that process is such a great process to learn and grow.
And no, and what I was saying is that I love how you picture it as a wheel because
Hmm.
when you have that process that it just comes back around, it serves as a check and a restabilizer. That maybe one of those areas in that pinwheel is not all that good, but guess what? The next one coming around may support you and teach you another thing. And then by the time that other wheel comes where you have to get tested in that again, you might pass.
You're
And
better.
that's why I was saying that as a leader, for those out there that are watching, and perfect. It's never perfect. It
No,
is by no means ever perfect,
no.
but if you have these things in place, like Chip is saying, right, and they're coming around for a second turn, you
Yeah.
might get right sided, right? You might get short up, and one feeds the other, so that even in the times of lack in any area where it deals with leadership, you'll have a backup that will reinforce and maybe get you back up on, maybe, yeah, you faltered here, or maybe you made a wrong decision there, or maybe hey, I've seen people make one decision cost 50, 60, $70,000. One decision.
Oh, easy.
You can't get it back. But guess what? That wheel comes back around, another area helped you out, and then now you can overcome that. So it's all about overcoming your daily challenges through a system that will reinforce itself as you're coming around, and then you're back on track. So don't give up, folks. Don't give up. Stay the course, but have a system in place. I love that, Chip. Have a system in place
Yes,
to
sir.
support your leadership endeavors, right?
And I, being a former athlete, I look at pretty much everything from the athlete perspective. Really, reps make you better.
Hmm.
The more reps that I can get, then the more opportunities I'm gonna have to learn and grow. And so, like, you can't look at the bar and expect to get stronger. Like,
Hmm.
you got to get in there and move that thing and hurt and sweat and do it when you don't feel like it.
Oh
When there's
yeah.
nobody else doing it, you got to get in there and put the work in. And that scenario is just like life, just like success, just like anything you do on your day-to-day basis. It's sometimes where you don't want to get in there and do things the right way, but you got to do it the right way and put the work in, get your reps, okay? Fail, right? Because we're going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And then in that, you learn in that process. So there is no winning and losing. It's more like winning and learning. And,
Mm-hmm.
and really is winning and winning, if you have a
Eventually,
proper
right?
perspective,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, Ricky, I just threw her comment on here. Start with self-love and
Yeah.
respect. It got to be there, or you can't give what you don't got, right? So you are not in competition with
Yes.
or
Amen, Rick.
accountable to anyone else, just yourself. Now, there are parts in life where you do have to be accountable to other people, but when it comes down to it, where everybody else goes away, it's just you. So thank you, Ricky, for that comment. And I surely believe that. So we're we're at the point where we're stable and stuff.
Mhm.
There's always going to be some challenges. There's always going to be some things that come sideways at us at times, and it's called life,
Mhm.
right? I had shared with you back in April, life hit us, at least the Acosta family.
Yeah.
We lost. I lost my mom, or kids lost. That's a hard hit,
Yeah.
and it took me. Look, I've been a leader for over 30 years,
Yeah.
and that month it was like I was never a leader ever in my life. I done lost my train of thought, my way of thinking.
Yeah.
It wasn't all cylinders. Let's just say that, right?
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so in life, you're gonna get some things come your way. This last year and a half for the entire world has been a sideshow. Everybody's like, what's going on, man? And then
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
help that our current events, right? The destabilization of communities and nations. Uh,
Mm.
it's we got natural disasters going still at the same time. It's a chaotic world right now. Hope
Yeah.
it doesn't last for too much longer, because I don't
And,
know. Uh,
just hearing you say all of that too, uh, it reminds me, and I heard this scenario, you may like this, and we kind of talked about this earlier, but I want to kind of
right.
refresh and hit on it again. Um, I heard a story about a guy. He took his family like whitewater rafting, right?
Mm,
And he had never done anything like this ever before. you know, in his boat, the crazy water, man. I don't do, we don't do these kind of things. And
right.
so, the guy was kind of helping them, putting on their, the gear, showing them, it said, there's gonna be rocky waters.
Mm,
There's gonna be times where you're up or down or sideways, or maybe feel like you're gonna flip over, but don't lean to those other things, hunker down and hold tight to your core and what you believe in, right? And so again, that's life. You know,
Yeah, no, it's
amidst all of those things that are thrown at us, you know, all of those things you talked about, if you hunker down and just hang on to your core common principles like we discussed,
right.
right? And what you believe in, your faith-based journey, that can never steer you wrong, you know.
Hmm.
So just hang tight and hold on to that. And then, you know, eventually, you know, the tide will turn and it'll be smooth waters.
You know, it's funny because from a sailor's perspective, right? From a sailor's perspective, he's like, "Hey, I'm on a boat, and if this thing goes upside down, we're in for it."
Yeah.
But guess what? Not not necessarily. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen a boat that goes all the way upside down and flips right back up.
Wow.
And I'm like, hold a minute now. I want to be in that boat right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything might be a mess inside, but outside we're still gonna be above water. And
Yeah.
so it depends, and it brings me to it depends on the vehicle that you're in when you're going through those things, right? And so just think about and leadership and for those in leadership or not, just normal life. It depends on the boat that you're on. So make sure
Mm-hmm.
you're on the right type of boat for the different type of scenarios that come at you,
The
because
one
you
that won't
can
flip.
survive. Yeah, one that won't flip and go down. Right? You don't want no Titanic up in here. But you know there are, and it's funny how all these different innovations, right? These are
Mm-hmm.
innovations. Somebody had to think about this one real hard because all the boats I've been on, they sink if they go upside down. But somebody thought about it, and so with the innovation and all the things that are out there today, you know, you just think about it and relate it to yourself. How can you get on the right type of boat, right? How can you get on the right type of things that'll get you across, or to overcome situations like that? And there's a lot of them, but it all comes back down to your core, right? What's
Mm-hmm.
the foundation that you're operating out of, and that should take you to the other side. And now if you think that there's some areas that need some help, hey, get it.
Well, and here another thing that comes up to me when I hear you say that, um, we have to be reminded that we already have within us what we need. And we don't have to go search.
Hmm.
Like we're one of one. Like the big man made us like he wants us to be, right? And so we don't have to get involved in doing all the crazy searching and all. Like just do you. Like less is more. Okay, that's the teacher. I got to give you a
Yeah,
formula.
yeah, yeah,
Less equals more, right? So just do less. Really focus on that less and be
right.
great at that,
Hmm.
right? And that allows you the ability to do more later. But in the time, hey, just hunker down and hold tight to those core common principles. It's gonna be all right.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just we spoke earlier about the widow's mite, right?
Mm-hmm.
Less is more, less was more
Yeah.
at that situation, and sometimes for us. So Chip, folks hearing you, they may know you, may not know you. How could they get a hold of you? Where do you reside?
Yeah. So I I physically reside in Conroe, Texas, which is north of
Not
Houston.
physically, like social media
But
residents.
socially, social media wise, I reside on all platforms because I don't want it to be any excuse for you not to get this positive inspiration and motivation. All right.
Right.
But all of my platforms are at Chip Baker TSC, as in the Success Chronicles, except for Twitter. And Twitter is Chip Baker 19. And, the thing that I say, of course, like people say, like, follow, subscribe, rate,
Hmm.
all of those things. If you like to do that, that's fine. But what I would really like for you to do, if you go on and you see something that's positive and someone that you love and care about comes to
Yeah.
heart, I like for you to just share it with them to help make their world a better place. And so, again, I want to say thanks so much for the opportunity. Always a pleasure to connect with you, and I'm truly grateful to be on your platform. It's a great platform.
Oh no, I appreciate you, your
Yes, sir.
friendship and your flexibility to be on. I know Friday nights for some people is that's golden, right? So, but
Yes,
uh, but for all those listening, Chip Baker's and all the platforms, go ahead and go get it. I'm gonna take I'm gonna
go
take that
get it.
from you now. But has a lot of content that will that you can share, and hopefully you reach out to him, connect with him, and let them know if any of this, resonated with you. Hey, let them know. All right, let me know. Put it in the comments. But we appreciate you also participating with us, Ricky, Steve, and David. Thank you. And I see there's a lot of other people that have not chimed in. That's fine. Thank you for being with us. Aloha Friday Live every Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 1700 for you military folk. But Eastern time, we're now streaming on multiple platforms, so that's a good thing. Would love to hear your comments on the show, whether actual live or replay. And we wish you all the success. Chip, thank you once again, brother, for
Yes,
for
sir.
being with me tonight. I wish you all the blessing and success in the world, and I
Thank you.
know that you will have that, and we still have a lot to go together. So, folks, Aloha Live, Aloha Friday Live. I wish you all, and for those of you that don't know, Aloha is high and it is love. So you get two in one, right? So two in one. Thank you for being with us tonight. Any parting words, Chip, that you might want to let the audience know?
Yeah, just three simple words. Go get it.
Oh, hey, I told you, once you hear him say it once, it won't
Let's
come out your
go.
head. All right, folks. Aloha Friday. Have a great weekend. We do the shaka over in Hawaii, and lots of love and blessings.